Hello, guys. Welcome to Millennial Secrets. We're back, and this episode today is all about dating with ADHD. So it's part of a series that I'm doing. You might be dating someone who has ADHD, or you might know someone who has it. So I think it's really important we talk about this and kind of put faces to this. I think it's a great topic to discuss. So I'm joined by Hannah.
ADHD herself.
Yeah. Do you want to just introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about you.
So, Hannah, 26, live in London, got ADHD, which is probably why I'm sat in this chair today.
Yeah.
If you couldn't guess already how much I'm already yabbering on. Yeah, I don't really...
Okay, so this whole series is about dating with ADHD and your experiences. So when did you first realise that maybe you weren't like the norm? And I hate saying that.
No, it's so true. I think anyone that's known me has always probably known I'm not the norm in terms of growing up. Not the norm. It's probably not obvious to the eye. Hopefully not, but no, there's always been something that's not quite there, and it's only been of recent that it's come to light that it's ADHD that's causing all these differences.
Was there anything at school? Because normally, I mean, I know for men, it's the kid that gets sent out of the classroom, the one who's always in trouble, that sort of thing.
Was that you too? Very similar. But I think it's like ADHD now. It's become kind of a bit of a trend, which is not great in the same time because people sort of jump on it and think everyone's got it. But definitely at school, because it wasn't known, you were just a troublemaker, right? Like people will call my mum being like, I don't want Hannah to sit next to my child in class. Like I was very lucky, like that I went to a private school, so people got a little bit like, I'm paying for this and you're a troublesome child. And that really? Was tough. Yeah. And I was sent out of school all the time and, suspended a few times just for things that I thought were funny that perhaps looking back actually weren't.
Did you ever have some experiences where you felt shamed or anything like that because of your ADHD?
Yeah, so at school, I don't think the teachers were learning as much as me, right? But there was no one else quite like Hannah. So they brought in this system, which they didn't run past me or my parents first. It was like, obviously some person in the staff room thought, bright idea, we're going to do this. They brought out a card system. So I would be sat in the lesson, probably by myself, because I couldn't sit next to anyone, or people didn't want to sit next to me. And they would give me yellow cards. So they would give me,
oh my God.
Yeah, they'd give me a yellow card. They'd put it down on my desk. Everyone could see this. It was embarrassing. And yeah, I probably laughed it off like the class can, right? So yellow card, that's your warning, Hannah. Shut the fuck up. I was probably just... I bet I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just being enjoyed.
Did you feel humiliated?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. And I guarantee now, even my girlfriends that I'm best friends with now wouldn't have known quite how hard that. And
were you the only one who got the yellow card in the class?
No one else in the whole school had this system. It was me.
Did your parents know about this?
Yeah, because I probably went home and I was like, oh, I'm getting this. It was horrible. They give me a yellow card. This is your warning, Han. Okay, like I don't quite know what I've done wrong to get this one. Second yellow card. One more time, you're out. They would then give me the red card because I guarantee, me being me, would do it again. I'd have to take a walk around campus for 10 minutes to decompress, think about what I'd done. I didn't know what the fuck I'd done. I was just being loud. I was just being me. I was living in the moment. Come back in, everyone's, oh, Hannah's back, like that. And it would go again. Every lesson, every class. It was mortifying. Honestly, it's horrible to think about. Because they didn't know how to deal with me. Give me, like I'm a fucking football player. Like,
yeah.
Awful.
It's so humiliating. It must have made you feel like you were separate from everyone else.
Yeah, and then you can't, and there's no friends to lean on to say, how does that make you feel? Because I'm the only one. I'm the only one that people have gone like, no, it is sad. It does make me emotional to think.
And we hope that sort of thing's not happening right now. And if you are a teacher or a head teacher or whatever and you're listening to this,
just
please
don't
single anyone out for something like that, because there's something, it's deeper than just being a little bit naughty in the class, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I put cockroaches in a drawer, perhaps that's a little bit different, but yeah, not the card.
Yeah, so the thing that they say with it is that with people that've got ADHD, the two neurotransmitters that you're low in is oxytocin and dopamine.
Yeah.
So that you're chasing that rush. So for anyone who doesn't know, with oxytocin and dopamine, basically those are the neurotransmitters that are responsible for things like pleasure and sexual excitement and that sort of thing. How has that impacted your dating life?
I think there's also the underlying thing is, so I am clinically depressed. You might not know it. When you
I'm shocked.
So my brain literally can't produce the chemical that makes you happy as much as others can. That's just, I don't look at it. I'm not depressed, like I'm happy, but I take medication. So I've had that to sort of build up my, levels there. And then, so now obviously the dopamine chase for me is huge because I don't get the happiness thrill as quickly as the next person. I then chase other things. So dopamine for me, like binge eating or shopping, like payday, it's gone.
Really?
Yeah, it's not great. And I'm trying to get,
So is
luckily
that
my payday's
chasing
not a massive fee, because if it was, I would probably be living in LA with a massive house by now, that impulsive. But yeah.
The thing with spending is interesting because you'll see on part 2, one of the things that we spoke about was Tinder and how it encourages people to spend more money. So spend to get a super like, spend to get your profile seen by more people.
No, I didn't do that.
So with that sort of thing, do you think that dating apps would be bad for somebody that's got ADHD?
Yeah, 100%. And like, I did Hinge when I was like single, quite fun. And that was a dopamine chase because you want that like, and if I was paying for it, you would, because you get the rush of someone likes me, that feels good, let's go again. So if you had the funds to spend and you were chasing it, you'd spend a lot, I reckon.
Yeah. So I was reading an article. There was a girl that wrote in Cosmopolitan. She was saying that the guy split up with her. She was with him for 4 months.
Yeah.
And that was the longest relationship she'd been in. She's got ADHD. And he split up with her and he said, I love you so much, but I can't give you the attention that you need. Yeah. Does that ring true to you?
That's a tough one, because I think everyone requires a certain level of attention in different ways. Like, I wouldn't say, and I might be corrected in later on, but I don't think I attention seek. That's a really tough question. Yeah, probably as a guy, you probably feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
But actually, the enough isn't a lot. It's just this particular point that you crave from someone, and if it must be really hard for a bloke too, I think.
Or vice versa, if it was a man that's got it and whatever. Yeah,
but more. I sympathise with the person that's dating someone with ADHD.
Why?
Because it's hard. It's hard. I change conversation in a nanosecond. I'm distracted by things. I might not listen to something that's a really important piece of information. I might turn around to say Charlie and be like, "Hey, you haven't complimented me today," or like, "Do you like my outfit?" And he's like, "I literally told you 2 minutes ago you look good."
Because you need the dopamine.
Because I didn't hear it because I was distracted by some cute corgi walking past.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I say I love that, but you know what the thing is? I'm trying to rephrase it because I think in a lot of ways having ADHD can be a superpower as well.
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, I'm so on it with emotions. I struggle to read them big time.
Right.
That's constant. But because I'm struggle to read it, I'm always like checking in. Always, like, how are you? Like, what are you feeling today? Like, why is something off? Yeah, so I think it is the superpower, the fact that I can spot things that perhaps people would go over other people's heads.
Yeah, I did. I looked at this PhD professor. Her name is Stephanie Sarkis, and she said that people that are born with ADHD often have, like when they become adults, romantic obsession.
Right, in terms of...
So it could be, for
porn,
example, that you meet someone. So she was talking about someone that, well, in her case, she met somebody on, I think it was Tinder.
Right.
And within 5 messages, she was already saying, "Do you want to go on a date?" She was messaging that person. It's very quick. It's not now a lot of people get to know someone.
Quick, and I've been a sucker for that before. Like, I've dated people that I thought, "Oh my God, this is amazing," and I was either love bombed or I fell too quickly. And anything people say, I just take people's word probably too easily. So if they're it's tough.
Well, she's argued though, but because of that, because of the love obsession that can come from it, 'cause you're chasing the dopamine, it's the hit, it's the rush. You are more vulnerable to things like love bombing.
Oh my God,
and
100%.
abuse. And so a lot of women have said that they've been like victims of financial abuse because of it. So the gaslighting.
Yeah.
You're so impulsive with your spending. You spend all the time. Let me manage your finances because you don't know what you're doing. Your money will be gone at the end of the month. That's what a lot of women.
At my bank account?
No, but I'm just saying that a lot of women who have got ADHD, they go through that sort of thing with their partners and they'll believe them. So when you're being love bombed, episode 3, by the way, if you haven't seen it,
it's a good one.
It's like if somebody's saying, "Oh, I love you so much,"
Yeah.
within like a couple of days of knowing you, you're going to believe them, right?
If I have fallen victim to that. Like there was last year, I was 100% love bombed by someone that was just so not right for me. But I was so in the zone, and all my friends were telling me no. But yeah. Anyway, but I think definitely with the dating side of the money, you know, it's like the rush. Like you go on, like I loved. Charlie's listening, so don't listen too much.
My friend Charlie will be joining shortly. Who's the partner of Hannah? He'll be coming halfway through there.
Pre-Charlie, the Hinge thing, it was a bit of a fix. Like we're talking 2-3 times a week. You are chasing that dopamine, that spending, and it's fun. Like I love making friends. So if I'm on a date with someone, to me, it's just kind of like it's just something to do. It's an activity. Like whether I impulsively go home with them, which isn't great at the same time, you know, or just tapping away on that cards to keep the pints coming in. Like, yeah, I don't think really like that when it's
right.
That's a problem.
So for you, have you found that you've had bad experiences quite often with, like, is it normally quite short-lived?
Yeah, impulsive, short-lived, maybe 1 or 2 days. And to be honest with you, I get bored.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I need stimulation. Like, you know, not to toot my own horn, but there's been a few times where someone's possibly asked you on a second date and you're like, now you're boring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that happen? Did it happen quite often?
Yeah,
does it happen now?
Too nice. Like men need to stop being nice. Like Charlie tells me how it is, you know, and especially someone with ADHD, like you've got to be put in your place a bit. And you'd be on a date with these guys and they'd be trying to schmooze and it's like, no. You know, it's like, you know, and I'm so honest, I'll be at the table and I'm like, this is not worth you spending another £7 on me for a pie. Like, I'm going to go home.
Because you're just bored because he was being so nice?
Yeah.
Or?
I was just like, you're giving me nothing.
Yeah, I can hear Charlie laughing in the
Yeah, he's like, no, because he's probably had this before. But, you know, at least I'm honest. This is the problem. I don't have a filter.
So give us an example of a time when you went on a date with someone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charlie, if you have to hear this.
Hey, he's done all right.
He'll be joining us in a minute. I can see him like he wants to jump up and join us. Give us an example of a date that you went on. But firstly, do you tell them before that you have ADHD?
Well, obviously, like I knew something's up, but I've only recently been officially diagnosed, so didn't know. I wouldn't run with that. Listen, like they probably made me think something's up, right? Hopefully in a good way.
I just think you're full of energy. I didn't.
Yeah, lots of energy. So no, I wouldn't tell them, but I think. Pre-Botox, I think my face gave quite a lot away.
Really?
So I would be on a date with someone and I just went,
you're just bored.
Yeah, and my honesty, like I think girls should do this more, and guys, like.
Do you ever get impulses to just do things?
Oh my god, yeah.
Like
start a new business this week. Next week I'm going to run a marathon. Never ran over 5K, but probably do a marathon.
Yeah. So you'll see on episode 2, so not episode 2, part 2 of Dating with ADHD, I interviewed a guy called Jamie and he said that he would just chuck a bottle over somebody's head. He did that once. No, he just poured the bottle over and then it was like instant regret.
Yeah,
have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, you do. You just like, the problem is you don't think of the consequences of your actions, which has come back to bite me a lot with what I say. Actions-wise, yeah, sometimes I just like, weird, but I quite enjoy it. Like I'll walk down the street, I don't know, flash a tit at Charlie and he'll be like, there are people around. But to me, that's funny.
Oh, really?
Like I don't think of the consequences of that.
I think that's great. And have you ever
More people should just do that.
Really? So you just
liberating.
But then after you have flashed a tit or something, do you feel instant regret?
Not really. Depends if you've seen it. If there's a family on the other side of the street,
when have you done? Was it on Regent Street? Was it on one of the busy streets?
And we were in Paris recently, and we came out of a hotel, and we went for a drink, and I thought, this is brilliant. Had a really easy access shirt on, and I got quickly told to put them away.
Right. I think you're great.
Which is actually fair enough.
Yeah.
To be honest, you can't go around flashing, can you?
Do you get drained of energy quite
a lot? Oh my God,
yeah.
So,
because that's the other side of it as well, isn't it? So
yeah,
you've
definitely.
got these spikes where you feel like a lot of energy and you're ready to go, but do you feel exhausted? You feel exhausted quite often?
Yeah. So there's this like running joke. I went away with some girlfriends last year, and everyone goes, "Oh, Hannah's the day girl." Like I'll wake up, have a drink at 9. I'm thriving. Come 10 o'clock, I'm asleep. Unless there's something really going on a night out or something. But yeah, I really struggle with that. And I can fall asleep anywhere.
Have you ever fallen asleep during sex? So say, for example, there's somebody watching this that does have ADHD. Let's say, for example,
Yeah.
it's a woman. What would you tell her? Would you say that she should tell her partner, the person she's going to go on a date with first?
No.
So keep it a secret?
I think secret's probably the wrong word. I think it's like it's like baggage, right? We've all got baggage.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a secret because it's not something that you necessarily need to disclose. Like, it's just part of me. And until 2 weeks ago, when I found out I've got it, I wouldn't have disclosed. Just me. Like, this is what you meet what you get. Like, no, I don't think. Obviously, when it comes to communication and relationships and you're together properly, it's important that Charlie's aware, right? Because I will react differently to things. That's just standard. But no, I don't think a first date needs to know at all. It's just you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you think if it's the first date, don't say anything, but when would you then let that person know?
I think it depends how you show your ADHD. I don't think it takes a genius to work out. There's probably some ADHD here, right?
Right.
And I think, when would you tell? Like, when you kind of feel comfortable and like, hey, someone might say, oh, tell them first date, I've got nothing to hide. And it's not that I have anything to hide. I just don't feel it necessarily needs to be voiced.
Yeah. Tell us about your diagnosis.
Yeah, so that was tricky. So I waited on the NHS for about a year.
Wow.
And actually the average wait time's 2 years. So long.
And I want to just highlight that because I've got a friend who's been waiting. She's been told she's got to wait 4 years for Ritalin.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So if anyone from the government or anyone
sympathise.
any policymakers, please do something about this because there are people that are suffering.
Yeah, and I think because of the trend thing that we touched on, now everyone is getting on this bandwagon.
Well, everyone says I've got ADHD, don't they?
Yeah, and it's like, do you, or are you just a little bit?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was very fortunate that I'd got into a little bit of bonus at work and I was able to go private. So went to a clinic on Harley Street. They want someone to come up from your childhood. So my mum came. They asked everything. It was like 2 hours of intense questions. And it was tough because you're going back to times where you weren't your happiest. Obviously, I was suffering with depression when I was younger, and the reflection of that probably is because I didn't understand what was going on up here. Mum had to speak about like her whole pregnancy, like to the point of birth, like
really
what happened during birth. Could it have been something that then, and then all the way up to the present day. And then he sort of mulls over what you've said, and you come back in, and he diagnosed me with ADHD, so high function ADHD, and autism, which was quite a hard pill to swallow. But the two go hand in hand, right? So you don't really have ADHD without autism. The autism thing, I think there's a stigma around. You don't want to tell someone you've got autism. People instantly go, oh, right, she's on the undateables, or she can't hold a conversation. Sometimes that's true, but...
Were you surprised when they said you had autism?
Interestingly, like, no, because I really struggle with people's emotions. When someone's sad, I can't fathom why, unless I can...
I thought you were quite good with emotions.
Do you reckon? That's the mask, right? I'm 26. I've learned how to do it.
But that's the key difference, I think, between men and women. And I have to look at this research because women are diagnosed later with, especially ADHD, because you're taught how to mask.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're masking quite a lot?
Oh my God, literally through school. And I know this will probably sound a little bit theatrical, but I kid you not. I would wake up, see how my mood was, and was like, what mask are we putting on today?
Really?
Yeah, and it's really hard. Like, sometimes you wake up and you're not in the right headspace, and you've booked a brunch with your girlfriends, and you think, I've got to be the Hannah that everyone loves. I've got to be funny. I've got to be, I've got to be, on it. And then you get there, and some people turn around and you go, oh, Hannah, you're too much today, or what's up? And it's like, I try to put the right mask on, and that's
bless you.
Yeah, no, it is hard.
It's exhausting. It sounds exhausting.
Exhausting, which is why I fall asleep by the time.
It sounds absolutely exhausting. Yeah. Oh my God. But what I wanted to say is that these are the key differences between men who have got, by the way, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is ADHD.
Yeah.
So men tend to be hyperactive ADHD, characterized by an inability to sit still, often interrupting conversations, talking a lot, having intense emotional reactions, and embarking on risky behaviors. So normally, like, it's the kid that gets sent out of the classroom, the naughty boy that's
And
always...
probably the kid that's like the smartest in the room,
Yes.
right?
And I've argued this because most people, anyway, that I know, I mean, Stephen Bartlett's got it, have
Yeah.
ADHD, are very intelligent people.
I'm the exception.
No, you're a smart cookie, and stop saying that shit.
No, I promise. There ain't a lot going on up here.
Yes, there is. And then women, but he's coming on in 5 minutes. So the female ADHD tends to be inattentive ADHD. So symptoms are less obvious. Individuals can look like they're paying attention, but their mind is elsewhere. This type of ADHD is characterized by being disorganized, daydreaming, finding it hard to make decisions, and being withdrawn from making decisions and processing information. Does that...
Yeah,
But
I'm quite lucky that the organised thing doesn't quite fall into...
Yeah.
I'm like list obsessed. Maybe that's the autistic side. Like I can't have a plan without having 2 plans for the plan. So, but everything else, yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Charlie, I think it's time to bring on the boyfriend. Charlie's a really good friend of mine, and he's going to sit with us now. Do you need a top up?
Yeah,
Right.
you might need a big
I think
one.
we all need a top up. I thought it was important
Got his England scarf on.
to bring both of them on. Welcome to Millennial Secrets.
Thank
I used
you.
to work with Charlie, so this is going to be really interesting to hear your take on everything. Hypersexuality is a big part of ADHD.
Right.
Do you guys have a great sex life?
I mean, I've got no complaints.
It's great.
It's great.
It is great.
What a review. 5 stars.
It's because it's I know I keep saying it's the dopamine rush. It's the hit of all of that. What is it that attracted you to Hannah?
I don't know. This is so
Oh, well,
Go on.
Sorry, I needed to lead with quite a stinging question.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'll go softer after that.
yeah.
Go
Bring
on.
it straight into the
Be
room.
nice.
No, I always say to you, you're a unicorn.
I'm a unicorn. Hot
One of a
unicorn.
kind. And I think that the persona and the way you carry yourself, family orientated, I was like, yeah, that's a bit of me. And it's refreshing to see that. The kind of,
Ain't that cute?
yeah, it's quite cute.
That is cute, actually.
And so, based on everything that Hannah has said, has it been like a struggle or anything like that, or are you just in it because it's impulsive? Because you're a really fun guy. That's why we're friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
We
you're
love
not
going out. We
impulsive.
love to drink, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Based on what Hannah has said previously, has it been hard to navigate through the ADHD?
Be honest.
I don't think it's been hard. It's been a learning curve. For me, like, especially in my work environment, as you know, like it's super high pressure. Like you cannot make mistakes. Like it is get it right first time. Like, that is
Yeah.
just the policy.
Yeah.
So switching off that and then giving myself to Han in more of like a romantic, switched off way, it is tough to change. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's a struggle. No,
Well, that's refreshing.
I
Phew.
don't. It's not a chore.
It's not a chore. I'm not a chore.
No, I think you're both a lot of fun. So you've never had any, like, there've never been any times where it's just like you've impulsively done something like maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, come on. We want to hear
Oh.
about. Come on,
Hannah's
get the
impulsive-
teacups ready, everyone.
Go on. What?
Oh, your impulsiveness is something that actually does. I can't really say blow your pants off.
You can.
Um,
I blow his pants off.
but
I
there'll be
bet you do.
times where, I'd be in a meeting 2 hours and then I look at my phone and I don't have what you have on WhatsApp where you can see the message before you've opened it.
Oh right.
So I just see
I
Hannah Bakewell.
narrate my life through. Saw a dog today. Oh,
Oh my
saw
God.
a cute little. I don't know.
I get a text in a meeting. Oh, I booked a 2-day weekend in the Cotswolds. Hannah will get the date wrong.
How exciting though. How exciting.
No, Hannah,
That's-
can't do that date.
Oh.
Shit, but I've just paid the deposit. Brilliant, Hannah.
So it's things like it's the impulse. So it's the
Yeah.
spending with you. So it's the
I just think it's brilliant. I'm like, oh,
It's quite fun.
it is quite fun.
But
I-
Hannah must be completely different unless you've dated another girl that has ADHD before.
No.
No.
It
No.
must be like being on a really fun roller coaster.
It is, yeah.
You might want to get off at times, I think.
Yeah.
Pause.
I mean, I'm not great with heights. I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
vertigo,
no.
so
Okay.
any roller coaster for me is
but not this one. This one.
no, this one's different. Talking like metaphorically about a roller coaster, like when I open your messages, I have no
Does your
idea.
heart race?
I have no idea what the next thing's going to come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's
But that's exciting. Is it everything? This is every
And
day.
messages
Really
like,
interesting.
actually, when we first started courting, we like to call it courting.
We were called, yeah.
We are
What is
still,
this,
are
Downton
still
Abbey?
courting.
What is this,
we're
Downton Abbey?
technically still courting, aren't we?
We are.
We are.
That's
Anyway,
what we like to
when we
refer
first
as.
started courting, communication via text was really hard.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. We're not great. I would send something and Hans' brain would then interpret it something completely different to what. So
I want to know about this because we went out for drinks before, just so I could get to know. Thank you for coming, by the way, because it's a big deal to sit in this chair, and I really appreciate
No,
it.
fine.
But you were
Pleasure.
talking about this before, where you misinterpret things that Charlie has said.
Yeah.
And that's very common of somebody who has ADHD.
Yeah, or not necessarily always misinterpret, jumping the gun with what I presume is the right answer.
Catastrophizing.
Yeah.
You catastrophize. So give us an example of when you catastrophize.
I think, like, especially
a
early
lot.
days. It's
there's a lot.
Is there? Maybe
Go on,
you
tell
go.
us. Tell us.
Go on. You
Oh, there's a lot. I reckon every time I message Hans, and you also say, like, an emoji does help, which I'm not a
emojis. We love emojis.
I'm not a
just the
massive
aubergine
emoji
one, but
I was just going to ask if you
yeah,
like
I
that
love
one.
that one.
Fuck it.
A few water sprinkles up. I'm kidding. Sorry.
Do you send the cat one to her?
Pussy.
No.
What's your favourite?
No, I'm quite PG. What's my
Yeah.
favourite? I don't know. Anyway, we've digressed.
Yeah.
So when we were first messaging, like, we were getting our communication a little bit wrong because you, from a neurodivergent way,
We love
interpret
I
things.
hate that term, by the way. We're gonna
I
get onto the-
thrive
I
on
love
that
it.
Okay,
term.
I
right,
love
I'm
it.
writing this down because I need to talk about that.
I
Keep going.
love it. I think it addresses
Everything.
who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But our messaging, we were really out of sync at first. So I've been a massive fan for years. And I mean, I don't know why, but it's a Southern Hemisphere thing, is sending voice notes. So you can't misinterpret a message
it's a good-
sending a voice note. So for us, as
So
a
that's the way
coping
that you cope with it, by sending
Exactly.
a voice
Oh
note.
yeah, 100%. I kind of wish you had some of our funny ones now. Like Charlie will ask me really serious, like, or like a planning question, and I'll be walking along the street, like in between meetings, or something. I'll record the answer, and I'll be like, "Oh look, there's a flower," or like,
your breath, yeah. Well,
yeah, it must be really frustrating.
Or for instance, I would just, I was on the Eurostar last Sunday. I was sat next to passenger.
No. Oh god, no! I know what he's going to
We
do.
love it.
And
We
Hannah,
love it.
Hannah
No.
took my seat in business premium.
Oh, he gave me.
And I went into
business.
cattle
How
class.
cute.
And I had no idea. I saw the message and I saw a photo and I was like, what is this photo? And it was Hannah taking a picture in the loo. Boob
I
out.
got a tits out again. I can't help it.
You love getting your
I
tits out,
just
don't
get
you,
my
Han?
tits out. I
It's
do.
bit-
And I just think it's liberating. Anyway, I sent you a nude.
Yeah, sat next to a guy.
And a lot of couples do this. A lot of couples send nudes.
There was a lot of free champagne. So, I mean, it was what? 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe it's not prime tit time, but back then,
it's just-
Charlie opened it next to this poor guy
This
who
poor-
got a full vision of my tit.
Should have been looking at your phone.
and not only,
Followed him out.
he then got the same tube as us to White City.
Oh,
He sat next
really?
to us. I was
No
like,
way.
Look at me going,
No
I've
way.
seen your tit. And you're sat there like,
Oh.
oh my God. Yeah. It actually, I was a bit embarrassed. And that taught me a
Yeah.
lesson. Don't impulsively
He
send
didn't
tit
speak
pics
English,
at 4
though,
o'clock on a Sunday.
to be
No, he
fair.
didn't speak English, but he knows what tit is, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
the
think-
impulsiveness in intercourse. We've
How
just
do you mean?
digressed
Let's-
off
let's-
how do you mean
messages.
by
Let's
that?
jump into that.
But haven't we? We've just gone off messages to. Sorry, this is me. I
No,
just.
I love it. Go for
I'm
it.
very rigid. No, I wouldn't say old school.
No.
Rigid in terms of like,
Vanilla.
No, not vanilla.
But there's no vanilla shaming. Episode 2, by the way, if you want to see
No,
about
you
that.
aren't vanilla. You're exciting. You're maybe like a pistachio.
yeah, but you're. No, I like cashews.
Right. So, neurodiverse. You like the term neurodiverse.
I think so.
Mm.
You do. So, TikTok, so Gen Z, they say neurospicy.
Oh, I've never heard that.
No.
So that's what they say. Just for anyone who doesn't know, neurodiversity is dyslexia, ADHD, Tourette's. It can come under autism, dyspraxia, dyscalculia. There's a few different ones. Neurodiverse. Do you not find that offensive?
God, not at
Mm.
all.
You love it.
I don't. Yeah, no, I think it's quite good. I think it explains things perfectly. Like, diverse. We are different in how I've actually never really had a conversation with another person who is neurodivergent and asked them their opinion.
But you've known that because you
I
pass
probably
people
don't
all the
know.
day.
Yeah, I probably
You
don't
pass
know.
people all the time.
You don't. It's like on the tube, baby on board. You know they're pregnant.
Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
wear a badge that
Neurodivergent
says-
people don't walk around
There's
with a
the
badge
thing.
saying,
Probably would.
I'm different.
Wouldn't be a bad thing.
If
Right.
there was a couple watching this and one of them has ADHD and the other one doesn't, what advice would you give them?
Run.
And we'll start with you. Then we'll
Don't
get on
run.
to you, Hannah.
Persevere.
Run.
Oh, that's a nice
Persevere.
word.
It's short and sweet. I look at it, every day is different. And I wouldn't overread, because the person on the other side of the line is overreading.
Yeah.
So make it as simple as it is. And I'm a pretty calculated person. I like to have routine, discipline. So as long as I've got that kind of pillar, then it's really handy for the person on the other end to just leech onto that. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and I think that's why we actually do work, because you are very luckily
On it.
on it, but of very sane mindset. Like
Yeah.
you are blessed in that. You don't have the underlying anxieties, depression.
You're very
whatever you want.
calming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
force.
So, and I've not everyone I've been with before has had either some form of anxiety, depression, whatever you want to call it,
You've done the full
addictions.
loyalty card.
I've ticked it off, babe. I've tick.
Haven't
I've
we
tried it
all?
all, and now I've. And Charlie would be
Tick,
Charlie.
tick,
You
tick.
would be if I was ticking. You're just like a lovely oat milk latte.
God, #1 fan here.
Yeah. Do you know? It's like as it
There we
goes.
go.
Like you were talking about ticking, so I was thinking about stamps.
Yeah.
You're,
And I don't like dairy.
No, you
so-
don't like dough. No.
Oh,
So you would be like
excuse me.
you're just that perfect solid person that hasn't got like the weird funky stuff going on that I needed. And then that's not to say that you look for someone with problems like me,
Mm.
but you're of the capacity he can take it.
And what advice would you give to someone if they have
Why are you getting...
neurodivergence, or if they're neurospicy? What would
Hold on, let's address the elephant in the room here.
what's going on?
Oh, this is a challenge. I'm sorry, I'm just reflecting last weekend.
He's
Put a
nice to be like-
neurodivergent person on the French metro. Oh my
Tell
God.
us about it.
Oh my God. That is an
Well,
experience.
it's for anyone who doesn't know, it's very complicated. It's not like the tube. It's not like the
It's
subway.
not in
No,
English.
it's like the tube on crack.
Yeah, there's so many different lines that intersect.
There are.
Yeah.
And north, south, east, and west is different.
I don't know
It's
left
in
or
French.
right.
Okay.
Can't
Hannah
tell the
doesn't know left or
time.
right. Written off 4 cars. Can't drive.
Are you dyslexic?
Well, it probably is that too. Would make sense.
But you're not dyspraxic, which is interesting.
I don't know the difference.
Like if you threw a ball at a dyspraxic, they wouldn't be able to catch the ball. But you probably would, right?
I
I don't know.
don't know how many
What
ones I've had.
happened? What happened on the?
Oh no, it was just
was
quite
chaos.
entertaining. I got
But the thing is, you've got to think if you need something to be quite like easy to work out and that sort of
Mm.
thing.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't. Sorry, your brain, I don't know why I'm saying sorry to the mic. Your brain is doing all of these things. It's going left, right,
Yeah, let alone in a foreign
everywhere.
language.
Hannah?
in another language. It's all of this crisscross going on. It's going to be hell for her, right?
I said so. I got into Paris. I was like, Han, just buy this card,
Oh,
go on the tube. Hannah sent me a screenshot of a 2-hour conversation to her family, being like, "What do I do? How the hell do I get to
but
the
they've
station?"
grown up with it. Like Charlie sent me a voice
They
note being like,
spoon-feed her
"Get off the
information.
tube," because no, they don't
Which-
spoon feed. Like they get it. Like I said to Charlie, "How do I get to the Airbnb? Ooh, buy a Metro card. Like put money on it. Do this, do that." I mean, I don't even fucking know what a euro is compared to a pound, and then put that money on there. So I text my mom. I was like, "Mommy,
Oh, Nikki, she sorted you
Nikki,
out.
she's amazing," and I said, "Please help." And they sent me this like itinerary on WhatsApp. Go up the steps, turn left,
Yeah.
turn.
It was
turn that
longer
way,
than your
turn that-
dissertation, honestly.
Yeah, it was amazing. That's what you need to
I've
do
got
more
a few more questions because there's so many things I want to ask, but I don't want to. I don't want this to run over too much.
Mm.
So, as dating somebody who has ADHD, have you had to change at all? Do you feel like your personality has changed?
Don't look at me.
No, I'm trying to reflect in myself. I genuinely don't think I have changed. I've definitely been more conscious of how to approach things. A big thing for someone or dating someone with ADHD is unfamiliar territory. So I've got to be a lot more sensitive to the fact, like, why don't we go on a weekend away? Go spend half an hour in a city that you have no idea.
Yeah, and that is so true.
So I can just do that. I don't even think about it. The chemicals in my brain, it's just like, this is a process, this is the formula, get on with it. Hans has, well, you're gonna have background noise.
It's the dopamine and the oxytocin.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the impulse of Charlie being like, shall we go to Paris this weekend? For me, it's like, I want to plan it. I need to know where I'm going. Like
outfits.
You need to know everything before.
Everything.
And that's tough because I guess perhaps we can't do things so impulsively as maybe you'd like to. I don't know. If someone I remember when I was much younger, Mum surprised me with a trip to Lapland to see Father Christmas, right? She thought this was the best thing since sliced bread.
It was hell for you, right?
Oh, hell. We're flying tomorrow morning. I couldn't comprehend the fact we were flying tomorrow morning.
It was a surprise.
I don't see fucking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, when I got there, it was fine, but and I've obviously carried that through so Charlie just gives me warning now.
Yeah.
We're going away in 52 weeks. Cool.
We have to plan.
It's done by time. It's done by...
Yeah. No, your question is really valid. Like, I wouldn't change myself unless I had some sort of, I don't know, weird routine and that was something you required. However, I just have to be a lot more conscious day-to-day interpretation of how you're getting somewhere, planning. I have to be a lot more mindful with how Hans' brain is digesting it. For me, it's just second nature. Like, I go, get the tube, or we've got a dinner booking at X time.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. And on top of that, making sure you keep the same body language to me at all times, just in case I think you're gonna, randomly one shift of body language.
At this stage, how long have you guys been
We've
together?
known each other.
You've got the days.
I've got the days.
You can't count.
I can't count.
But how long has it been? Has it been years? Has it been a few months? It's been a few months.
No, it's been 5 months.
I think
Instagram, like,
well, November the 10th.
Charlie asked me
And
about his
what's the date now?
birthday.
Yeah.
right. So
But we had known
Convenient.
each other for a while before. So he kind of knew what he was getting into, I think. It wasn't like, whoa,
it wasn't a big surprise.
here are my
any of this.
issues.
Hmm.
And
Maybe it was, I don't know. Surprise, motherfucker.
I think it's amazing though, like, considering you, like you said, like your career is so like, this has to be this way, this has to be, but
Cutthroat.
it's yes or no, it's black or white, there's no in between.
Yeah.
To meet someone that's so colourful and brings this,
I
this
chat to
element
people
to
all
your
day
life.
and you deal with numbers. We are so
Yeah.
different.
You cold call. I
I
look at
love
Excel
cold calling.
formulas.
Yeah.
I mean, the disparity.
On paper.
The disparity. It shouldn't work.
But it does.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
it strikes, right?
I mean, the odds are short, but hey.
Hey, no. Does that mean good?
You don't even know.
What, Cheltenham or Wigan have got no fucking clue.
It means it's not likely to succeed.
Oh, why
but it
would
will.
you say that?
But it will. But it
But
will.
That's the
But
whole
it
point.
will.
The odds are short on
The
paper.
odds are short, but
Oh, no, it's brilliant.
But you are determined.
We're both
Well, we're both determined.
Yeah.
and
So-
finally, yeah. Sorry, go on.
No,
Both determined to make it work, right?
Yeah,
we're,
well, that's the
we're
plan.
madly in love, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And to wrap this up, if there's anything,
Quite finish that.
Yeah.
No, of course we're going to
That's
keep
a bit
that in. We're going to keep
sloppy.
that in. I'm so appreciative of you guys coming on this because, look, I know a lot of you watching this think that all I do is talk about like squirting and blowjobs, but I do talk about more than that.
I took a sip of my drink at totally the wrong time.
I do talk about much more than that, and I want people to see that there's more to this podcast than that. So,
Oh, God.
does that make you laugh?
Yeah, I nearly squirted on the microphone.
Hey!
Out my mouth.
So if there's anyone watching this right now, firstly, no, what I normally ask people before, and I'm actually doing it live here, what do you want to get out of this? So if there's something that I said or that you maybe had a message that you wanted to get out, what would it be?
I think for me, dating an ADHD, like, be yourself always. It might look to the camera now that I'm in a really loving relationship, and I am, but to find this has been hard. I've been on shit dates. It hasn't been easy, and people have digged at your personality or said you too much, or like, trust the process because you're special, and actually there is someone out there that will really love you for you, and don't change it. Like, I'm neurodivergent. I'm proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like that word now.
We do.
love that
We do
word.
like
I
that
think
word.
should be fine. Or neurospicy.
Neurospicy. And how about you? If there's someone...
Yeah, I got a little chili necklace on.
Neuropicante.
Spicy.
Shout
How
out
about
to the
you?
house.
If there's someone watching this right now, or what did you want to get out of this? Like, is
In
it more,
terms of this
Well, we spoke
or
about
us.
but what we spoke about as teachers, actually, didn't we? Before we did this, it's like if there's a teacher watching this,
Yeah.
hopefully you can see that if you do have a child, and I'm sure there's probably several children in each class, maybe if there's just
Give
like
them a benefit
3,
of the doubt. They're not trying to be trouble on
they're not
purpose.
the naughty
I promise
child.
you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky though. Now that it is so like spoken about by whether that's influencers, social media, back when you're at school, they would just write you off as just, you're a problem child.
Yeah.
So I think now like it's a lot more talked about. There is counselling, there is, experiments that can be done. So
Experiments?
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
guinea pig.
we just watched Poor Things.
Oh, yeah.
That was a sexual
Charlie's
experiment.
not answered the question properly, yeah?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. Would you ever be tested for ADHD? I don't think
Yeah.
you've got it. I
could be.
sometimes think I've got it, but I'm one of those annoying people who's like, oh, I think I've got
Because
it.
you
I don't
thought
think-
you had it, right? When I
But
sent you that.
everyone who knows me says that if I do have it, I'm masking it very well.
That's
Yeah.
the thing, because we're older and you've learned how to, which is why it's so hard to, yeah.
Well, if there is a doctor watching this or listening to this, I'd be happy to get tested live on this show. So
Oh
get
my
in
God,
touch
wicked.
because I think we need to
Yeah.
understand.
If we want to be honest, it's
expensive.
cost
Yeah.
It's- yeah.
so much money to get diagnosed with ADHD.
How much did it cost you to?
So my initial appointment was 1,200. 12, I can't do
Is that including that?
1,200. I don't know.
Oh.
£1,200
For the initial,
appointment.
okay,
Yeah. Sorry, I've struggled with
that's
that.
fine. It's
So
fine.
£1,200 for the initial appointment.
Cue the Casio.
They then, at the end of the appointment, they go, right, you've got this. And you go, okay, like
And so, how long's the appointment?
2 hours.
So you had to sit in an office for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was
Fart
his
question.
name?
And all they gave me was glass water, could kill for a cup of tea.
What did you say to the chap? You tried to make a
I just tried to be funny
light-hearted
the whole time.
comment.
Anyway, so 1,200 quid, and then at the end of the session they tell you what you've got, and then you go, okay, like what are the next steps? And he goes, oh no, you need to pay another 300 quid to find out the next steps. So I'm like, oh right, what's that for then? He's like, oh, a half an hour Zoom call about what drugs you're going to go on. Like, geez, that's not long to then be prescribed with drugs that are going to completely change your mindset.
Are you on Ritalin?
No,
Because
so
I've heard that's quite old fashioned now.
yeah,
Ritalin.
it is, and that's a really quick releaser. So I've got one that's 20% release. It's going to last me all day. I don't want to say the name wrong because I couldn't pronounce it, let alone write it.
Okay.
But it's like a slow release.
Google it.
Concerta. And yeah. So, but then on top of that, you have to pay for prescriptions. Prescriptions be 100 quid a month. Like, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But if you go through the NHS, so I tried to take my prescription and go to the NHS and say, hey, so I've gone privately, I've been privately diagnosed. Can I now come to you for the guidance through my meds to
And
help
the
me?
NHS went,
And NHS said, no. They were
Right.
like, you can't, if you've got the money, you can't skip the queue. I was like, no, I'm not trying to skip the queue. Like, I've done that. Can I just speak to a doctor and get the prescription? They're like, no. So it is.
There's
Listen,
so
like,
many people out there.
think about
suffering.
how,
Well,
yeah,
between 50 to 75% of women go undiagnosed.
yeah,
Yeah.
And but
So-
if
And
you
the
haven't
NHS
got-
is
if you
still-
haven't got
Yeah.
sitting there.
And we do love the NHS. This is not
Oh
about
yeah,
bashing
no,
the
and
NHS.
they're just. I mean,
No, they're-
yeah, that is
Incredible
Completely
service,
inundated.
but with
In the tool,
this,
but-
it's not right, is it?
yeah. So two grand got sitting there to go and get mental.
Yeah.
Thank God for you
Yeah.
that I did have that. As you, I'm a better version of myself.
Or our Uber driver here today was saying, just listen to Tibetan music at 432.
He was, he
hertz.
was high.
Never heard of this before.
Oh my God.
I don't know if he was high. I hope not.
Was high.
Oh, probably
We got
not.
here.
Guys, cheers. Thank you so much for coming on my
Pleasure.
show.
That's
It
a
means so
wrap.
much to me that you did this.
Cheers.
I do think this is
Cheers,
going to
buddy.
do really well. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Millennial Secrets again. This is on all streaming platforms and YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Love this episode, and I'll see you soon.